Hello, hello. Welcome back. This is Insurance Hour. I am your host, Karl Susman. Phone lines are open, 559-656-0317. And of course, your questions can be sent anytime to questions@insurancehour.com. Before the break, we have a caller with us. Thank you for waiting and being so patient. And she asked me a question that I'm going to now address. The issue has to do with a driver being added to the policy or not being added to the policy. We're talking about an automobile insurance policy. And the first thing I want to do is point out that the caller sounded very concerned about this advice that she was given by her friends to basically not add her son as a driver. And if there's an accident, he's covered anyway. The first thing I like to say is I have an old saying that you never want to give an insurance company a great excuse to deny a claim. And if you think that something is not right, you're probably on the right track. The way most insurance policies work, you need to be added to the policy or excluded from the policy. Now, having said that, when there's something called permissive use that is also included on most automobile insurance policies, you want to check your policy to be sure the language is there. And what that says is, you and I are friends, and maybe one time we're out, we're having dinner, we have some drinks, and you're like, you know what, you don't feel great. Can I drive why don't you drive home? Okay, and I'll drive the car. Am I listed on your policy? No. Am I excluded from your policy? No. Am I covered under your policy? Yes. You've just given me permission to drive your car. And again, policies are all unique, but for the most part, we're talking in generalities. You've given me permission to drive your car, and with that permission, I am driving it, so I should be covered under that policy. Now, the situation that the caller was describing was for her son. So this is someone that, because they're a member of the household and or a family member, would typically need to be added or excluded. It's going to be on the actual insurance application. There's actually an insurance carrier that I know of, I won't call them out, that I know of, that when you're doing an automobile insurance application, they ask for all household members, and they recently added young kids. Like, they want to know the 3-year-old that lives there, the 4-year-old. And it's like, well, why in the world do they want that? Well, because first they want to keep track of them as they get closer to age 16 to then find out, did they get their license? Are they driving? But they also want to know, because they want to know that in the event there's an emergency, obviously not the infants, but once they're teenagers, if maybe they do get behind the wheel and they're driving the car, that they want to know who's there. Now, they're not charging for them. They just want to know. So to answer the question, the long and short answer is no. That is not good advice to take. If your son is going to be driving your car with any regularity, and that's really sort of the key there, any regularity, then you need to add them or exclude them. Because what you're doing otherwise is you're setting yourself up to be in a position where the insurance carrier is going to say, okay, wait, this is your son, so you know that you know his situation. This is not a one-off, right? Number one. Number two, you know that you're on your policy, and if he's driving the car frequently, why wouldn't you add him to your policy? I mean, that's sort of common sense, right? I have an auto policy, and I list the drivers. The application asks, and when the policy renews, it'll ask sometimes, are there any new drivers in the household? So you're getting that update from the insurance carrier with some level of frequency, and you're not taking them up on it, right? And finally, and this is probably the most important thing, you realize it. You intuitively feel, I could hear it in your voice, that something was wrong with this idea, right? That not disclosing a driver is exactly that, not disclosing a driver. And the industry in general, as you can imagine, frowns on surprises. They don't like surprises. Now, is it possible that adding your son might have been really expensive? It's possible. You might have to make that decision, but do not add him to the policy and go under the assumption that by doing that, there's just magical coverage that will be there, because the chances are it will not. Another interesting point to keep in mind, this is a little bit of a offshoot of this same situation. In most states, the insurance that's on the registered owner's vehicle is going to be primary.